The Transport and Aviation Minister meets with jet ski operators over the latest U.S. crime warning. This is Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner says the minister completely missed the point. Plus, the president of COB addresses those long lines to register for classes. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MV12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, the jet ski industry took a major blow today, according to one jet ski operator who said his livelihood is at stake following a U.S. crime warning urging Americans to boycott jet ski services in the Bahamas. And while they come to grips with what they say could be the end of the industry, the Transport and Aviation Minister is defending the industry, saying it is regulated, but there are areas that could use fixing. Kyle Joaquin reports.
It hurts me being that I'm a young entrepreneur in the business, been for many years. And, you try your best to make the country look good, make yourself look good. Then you have these persons that has no interest in the business, come around doing things, and then it makes everybody look bad.
The jet ski operators we spoke to today say they make their living and feed their families off of the patronage of American visitors. But when they saw that U.S. crime warning on jet ski operators, that was a major blow to the industry.
The U.S. citizens are going to listen to their people. They're not going to listen to me. No matter how I sugarcoat it, they're going to listen to their people first before they listen to me.
In that crime warning, the U.S. Embassy alerted its citizens that there have been 5 sexual assaults of U.S. citizens by jet ski operators in Nassau since July of 2014, with the most recent being just last week. And it urged Americans to boycott such services in Nassau. Jet ski operators have proven to be a major additive to the Bahamas' tourism product of sun, sand, and sea. But with the increase of crime, particularly in New Providence, crime warnings have become somewhat of a norm. But none have ever gone as far as to strongly advise its citizens to boycott. This came after a 29-year-old jet ski operator was charged on Monday with the rape of a 24-year-old American woman. Transport and Aviation Minister Gladys Hannah Martin met with water sports operators today at Prince George Wharf to get their thoughts and ideas on what should be done.
The industry itself does have issues, and we try over and over to see how we can deal with those issues. But in this particular instance, which has led to this advisory, it was not a member of the industry. It was someone else on the beach, a private jet ski.
Hannah Martin said she's now working along with the Ministry of National Security to see how they can assist. The minister also took issue with the U.S. Embassy calling the jet ski rental industry in the Bahamas minimally regulated.
The advisory also said that the industry is loosely regulated. I'm not sure if that's correct. We have legislation which is passed through the parliament of our country, which governs water sports in this country. We have enforcement officers. We have a port authority which meets out discipline for any violations. But it's the nature.
At one point last year, several jet ski operators were hauled before the courts after being caught on the beach with drugs. The jet ski operators say it's sad that the honest, hardworking jet ski operators are overshadowed by the bad apples. And this operator feels the government could do more in terms of regulations.
Too many years, they keep on saying they don't have enough money in the budget to do these things. They need to start doing it, all right? I never see no time when the government is traveling all over the world, they say we don't have enough money for them to travel up and down. So why is it that they cannot invest a few dollars in boats and in marine power so they can patrol these waters when they see these persons on boats and jet skis without no numbers, take the jet ski away or escort them out of the area. It's time the government do what they have to do, because at the end of the day, I am going to lose. My co-workers are going to lose. The country is going to lose.
Renrick Roll runs JR Action Water Sports, one of the largest in the industry with 15 jet skis, and he's been in the business for 30 years. But this father of 2 said what he didn't like the most was that the U.S.'s warning painted a bad picture of everyone in the industry.
They put everybody into one basket, and which is not so. Like I say, I'm a professional operator and a family man. There are people out there. I wouldn't try to deny it. There are some bad apples in the industry. But so far, because of the legislation that has been passed, the Port Authority has been trying their level best to weed those that are bad apples to the industry.
During the meeting, the water sports operators shared their views with the minister as to how they think the industry should move forward. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner said she thinks Transport and Aviation Minister Glenys Hannah Martin completely missed the point in the controversy surrounding the jet ski operator who was arrested for allegedly raping a tourist. She said Hannah Martin is too focused on protecting her portfolio and lacks compassion as a human being. Butler Turner also said it's a crying shame the U.S. has to warn its citizens about the war zone in the Bahamas. Simone Davis reports.
After Minister of Transport and Aviation Glenys Hannah Martin declared that 29-year-old Kevin Rumer, the jet ski operator who was charged yesterday with raping an American tourist, was not a licensed jet ski operator, Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner charged that the aviation minister has it all wrong and is focused on the wrong things. She asserted that there should never be a time in the Bahamas where a minister cares more about their portfolio than the livelihood of a tourist or Bahamian. And by doing that, Hannah Martin has completely missed the important point of the issue.
What saddens me more than anything, the Minister for Transport and Aviation seemed to lack compassion for what has happened to a guest in our country. A female has been sexually assaulted, raped, allegedly. And outside of that, she's looking for poor excuses as to whether or not the apparent assailant was licensed. That's a sad indictment, not only coming from a minister, but also from a woman who can obviously be prey to a similar type of crime. I think it lacked compassion. I think that the minister has lost the point completely.
Butler Turner said it's a crying shame that the United States of America has to resort to sending crime warnings to its citizens, who are the largest demographic in the Bahamas' tourism industry. She asserted that the leadership of the country is not taking things serious enough, which is why criminals are essentially controlling the country.
Our largest demographic is now being warned, and Americans take their warnings very seriously from the State Department. They are being warned openly and advised worldwide that they should be careful. It is definitely a very, very big blight and possibly could herald the demise of what we look to as being our golden goose, the tourism product.
The Long Island MP also hit out at Prime Minister Perry Christie, who recently admitted that Bahamians are living in bad times. She said he was singing a different tune about how times would be before he got into office. And when it comes to controlling crime, Butler Turner said the Christie administration has done the worst job in the nation's history.
I look at the Prime Minister's quote this morning when he says, "We live in bad times." This is quite a different story from what Perry Christie sold to the Bahamian people in 2011, 2013, when he said in his 2011 crime address that any government that is failing on crime is a failed government. What does that say to us today in the Bahamas? That Perry Christie and his government are not only a failed government, but the absolute worst government that this Bahamas has ever seen.
Since the murder record was shattered last year with 149 murders, in 2016 starting off with the same trend, she said it's bad enough that Bahamians are living in fear in their own country, and now foreigners are being warned about the war zone they are entering when they come to visit the Bahamas. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, in other news tonight, photos of College of the Bahamas students were all over social media this week, with lines wrapping around buildings and students waiting in line for more than 12 hours attempting to register for classes. President of the College of the Bahamas, Dr. Rodney Smith, who sat down with us today, said there were a lot of contributing factors that led to the oversized registration lines.
We had an inordinate number of students who showed up simultaneously to do several things. One was to clear their scholarship process and find out how much money they owed additionally to the institution. We also had students who were coming in and requesting deferred payment plans as well. And there's a process that we have to go through in terms of checking transcripts before the scholarships are processed. Then we have to process the scholarship paperwork before we find out how much money the students are responsible for. Students are still able to both register online as well as pay online.
The registration system that is in place now worked perfectly last semester, according to Smith. However, this time he feels as though more students did not take advantage of the month given to register after transcripts were published, and they simply waited for the last minute.
This year, I think more students were looking for deferred payment plans as more students were actually trying to register the same date. And the deadline, even though students had a month to take care of all of this, the deadline was actually 4 p.m. on Monday. And so we had a lot of people showing up at the same time trying to beat the deadline.
The longest visible lines were from those students who received scholarships to attend the college. However, Smith says those students could have paid online and avoided the long line.
The students who are receiving a scholarship from the Ministry of Education, their scholarship amounts are entered into the system, and then the system will let the students know how much is remaining in terms of due payments. Those students can go and pay online using a credit card or a debit card, or they can pay in cash.